Welcome to video number 3 of the Action Map system. Today you're going to learn about triggers, which help you to manage and take care of tasks in life that need to be done on a recurring basis, whether that's once a week, once a month, once a quarter, once a year, whatever it may be. So triggers are essentially a way to help you to keep everything in your life moving forward and properly maintain. To begin this particular video, let's look and review the rule for creating triggers, and there's only one rule, and that is that you create a trigger whenever you need to be reminded to take certain actions at various intervals along the course of your life. So for example, let's say you need or you want to maintain or optimize your computer once a month. That's a trigger. Or let's say you want to review your insurance needs every 6 months. That's a trigger. Now the most obvious question at this point about triggers is, well, how are they different from calendar events? I mean, if you want to remember to maintain your computer once a month, why not just add that to your calendar, right? Well, the reason's simple. You'll remember that one of the rules for using calendar events is that they must be very date and time specific. There are things that have to be done at, for example, 4:30 p.m. on Tuesday. That's very date and time specific with no room for flexibility. That's a calendar event. Now, doing something like maintaining your computer may be something that you want to do once a month, but not likely at 1 p.m. on the first of the month every month. So triggers provide some flexibility when it comes to taking action in this way. So when you review your triggers, you might see one that tells you that it's time to maintain your computer, and from there you can schedule that activity however it fits into everything else that you're managing at that time. You can choose to do it the same day that you see the trigger, or you can place it somewhere in the Actions and Focus section of the map, which will help you to identify it as something that you want to take care of soon. So just to be clear, calendar events are date and time specific, whereas triggers are reminders to take action on something soon, either sometime today, tomorrow, or the coming weeks ahead, with an emphasis on sometime when you can fit it into your schedule. So let's look at how to remember recurring tasks that you need to handle on a weekly basis. Now for most people that includes activities such as paying their bills every Tuesday, or running errands every Wednesday, or doing a weekly reminder of their action map every Friday. So reminding yourself to schedule time for these weekly tasks is what the day of the week trigger section of the action map is for, right there. Now this section of the map is divided into 7 days of the week. So to create a trigger for a specific day, just add a reference to the action that you want to take on the branch representing that day. So for example, if you want to manage your finances on Tuesday, just add a reference to that to the Tuesday branch. If you want to run your errands on Wednesday, add a reference to that to the Wednesday branch. If you want to do a weekly review on Friday, add a reference to that to the Friday branch. Now you might be thinking, isn't this a little bit nitpicky when it comes to planning life? I mean, when I do something every week, isn't there a good chance that I'll just continue to remember to do it every week? Isn't my brain smart enough to do that at least? Well, it probably is, but creating these kinds of triggers and doing it this way serves 2 main purposes, neither of which might be obvious on the surface. So first, you want to quit trying to remember and tracking these kinds of things in your head. You've got to free up your mental energies for other things. And these tasks may not seem like they steal too much mental energy if they remain in your head, but every little bit counts, so you want to get it out of your head. And second, one of the more powerful benefits to using the Action Map system is its ability to reveal to you the big picture of your entire life in a quick glance. And the clearer that you can see that big picture, the better that you can manage it. And adding these kinds of triggers to the Action Map gives you greater clarity. Now there's one additional benefit as it relates to the domain section of the Action Map, which we'll discuss in a later video. Now besides helping you to accomplish tasks on a weekly basis, triggers can be used to remind you to take care of things at any time interval that you choose, whether that's monthly, quarterly, yearly, every May, every fall, or whatever. So you can see on the map that I have these set up and split up based on monthly, quarterly, bi-yearly, and yearly. So monthly, I want to maintain my computer and clean and organize my office. Every 3 months I want to plan a weekend trip. Every 6 months I want to maintain me or schedule health checkups if I need them. And yearly I want to check my credit report and review my insurance needs. And once again, you can set these up at any interval that works for you, whether that's every month. You can have January through December on here. You can put the seasons on here, spring, summer, fall, winter, whatever works for you. Simply create a branch for every time interval that you want to use, whether that's the months, the seasons, whatever, and then add new triggers to each of those branches as needed. And you can see examples of that right here. Now in a later video we're going to discuss a little bit more about how triggers are used to get things done. But for now, just realize that as part of your daily and weekly reviews of your action map, you'll look over the triggers for any reminders that might be relevant to your current date and time. And when you come across a trigger that is relevant, you simply create an action item related to that trigger on the Actions Today or Actions in Focus branch, depending on when you can fit it into your schedule. So for example, let's say I just did a review and saw a trigger that reminds me that it's time to schedule spring maintenance on my home. Now I'm not prepared to take care of that today, so I create an actions item on the Actions in Focus branch, the home branch right there, to do spring maintenance. And then sometime during an upcoming review I'll see that particular action item and I'll see that it needs to be taken care of, at which point I can then move it to the Actions Today branch where it actually gets done. Now it's a little bit different for the day of the week triggers, because these are things that you'll review daily and they represent action items that you want to accomplish usually within the next 24 hours. So let's say that it's Monday evening and you're setting up what you want to do for Tuesday. Part of that is planning tomorrow today, which you'll look at your calendar for one, and then you'll look at your day of the week triggers as part of your daily review. You'll look and see that, oh, tomorrow's Tuesday and I want to manage my finances. And so, since that's something you want to do within the next 24 hours as a result of being reminded of this by this trigger, you'll add that action item of managing your finances to the Actions Today branch of the map so you can get it done the next day. In the next video you're going to learn about the Domains section of the action map right over here, which is where you store information, lists, and ideas related to the various areas of your life. Now one of the things that you store there are processes or checklists, step-by-step guides for getting things done. Now the way that this relates to triggers is that in some cases when you're reminded to do something with a trigger, you may have a checklist to help you to complete that particular task. For example, I have a trigger to maintain my computer right here every month. I also have a checklist for doing this efficiently, and I keep that checklist in the Domains section of the map. Now to remember that I have that checklist in the Domains section of the map, I include an asterisk in the name of the trigger to help remind me, so that when I perform this task I actually go to the checklist and run through that checklist to perform that task. So that's everything that you need to know about using triggers. It's a very short lesson, very short video. So let's now talk about next actions, things that you need to do next to start implementing triggers on your action map. Now the first thing that you need to do is start to think about all the things you do in your life on a regular basis. Everything from recurring tasks that you do each week to things that you want to be reminded to do each month, each quarter, each May, each year, whatever it may be, whatever time interval that is relevant to you. Next, you want to create triggers for each of these recurring activities. So come up with as many as you can, but don't worry about trying to create all of them initially. Okay, so as time goes by and you work through your life doing what you normally do, you'll likely add and update and remove triggers from this particular part of the action map. So if you're at a loss for ideas, maybe let me give you some triggers that you may want to consider adding to your personal action map. There could be things such as running errands or taking care of your finances, paying your bills. It could be connecting with your family, writing a blog post. That might be something you want to do once a week or once every other week. organizing your office, maintaining your computer, maintaining your car, maintaining your home, maintaining you, with physical checkups, teeth cleanings, dentist appointments, whatever. Planning a weekend trip, attending various annual events, checking your credit report, creating a budget, reviewing your insurance, and so on. You get the idea. Anything that you want to be reminded to do on a recurring basis, add that to your triggers section of your map. Now in the next video, you're going to learn about domains, which are simply a holding place, a place for holding information, lists, ideas, dreams, goals, things like that related to the various areas of your life. So until then, thanks for watching.